24/7 cash flow family, this is another prime example of why you should never invest in a city with bad landlord tenant laws. Let's check it out.
A Bed-Stuy landlord is battling to evict a tenant who has not paid rent in 3 years and owes tens of...
How's she staying there for 3 years? I mean, I've heard of bad landlord tenant laws in New York, and I've heard some horror stories, but never 3 years.
Thousands of dollars. Thanks for joining us tonight here on News 12 Brooklyn. I'm Amanda Bossert. News 12's Daniela Rodriguez spoke with that landlord exclusively about the toll that this has taken on him and his family.
I'm gonna make them so scared to come out this building.
Words from a tenant who owes nearly $60,000 in back rent over the course of 3 years.
I'm trying to do the right thing, trying to go to the right channel, like within the law. But it's like I'm getting no results.
That's a good thing that he said, like to go within the law, because real estate can be a street business at times. And some people will try to take the law into their own hands. And that's not something that you want to do. You don't want to start ripping out people's utilities. Or I'm going to just cut the electric, bang their water off. A lot of those things could land you in jail. So you do have to go through the court system. How she got 3 years behind, I have no clue, or $60,000. Usually, you know, somebody's 30, 60 days behind, you're filing eviction on them. If you're me, it's maybe even like 15 days. And then you go through that court process. Now, I've heard about things taking extremely long in New York City, which is why I would advise against being a buy and hold landlord in New York City. So all you real estate investors out there, look out of state. If you are a New Yorker, go out of state, go to Philly, go to Delaware, go to Baltimore even. Get out of New York, because they can drag you through this court system for extremely long periods of time. And the philosophy from what I've heard is that they just expect owners and landlords in New York to just have the money. So they just expect you, oh, you should have the 60K. You should be rich if you're a landlord. But as you can see, he doesn't look too rich to me. He looks like he's in pain, and he's just trying to get some results.
Kamar Lafayette says he's been fighting to get this tenant out of her apartment on the second floor.
She just doing the most outrageous things.
Lafayette ended up putting security cameras everywhere to prove she consistently violates rules, like smoking indoors,
Just having
ripping off signs that say no garbage in the hallway, and lifting floorboards, causing a leak in the first floor apartment.
Damn.
Where his mother lives. He's also seen on camera leaving the front door wide open, which he says poses a safety risk to him and his family.
See, and this is another reason why I would say Section 8 can be a good option if you're going to do C-class real estate investing, because was this person to be on Section 8, which I don't believe they are because of the amount of back rent owed, even in an eviction scenario, Section 8 is still paying. The government is still paying their portion of the rent as long as the person is in the property. When you do straight up market tenants, if they stop paying, you get zero rent. And that puts you at a big risk, in my opinion. So I like to have the government paying a portion or all of the rent so that I can eliminate this risk. I don't get myself into as many of these situations or any of these situations at all, especially if I'm in a city with bad landlord tenant laws.
One of the tenant's children answered the door, and when I asked for the tenant herself, "You don't have anything to say?" she said, "No." 10 minutes after I knocked on the door, the cops showed up. Lafayette.
Yep. So the tenant called the cops because they came asking questions. And this is another thing you need to be aware of. If you try to take the law into your own hands, they're going to call the cops on you. You're going to get jammed up. It's not worth it. They have a lot of free legal advice, free lawyers. They'll call the cops. They're going to play victim even while they're stealing from you. So it's something you have to be aware of. Shouldn't scare you off from being a landlord, but you just have to be aware of these things. You have to know how to protect yourself.
Says this situation is hurting his family, and all he wants is justice for landlords.
My mortgage is crazy. I can't go to the bank and tell the bank that I can't pay my mortgage. And for them, for 3 years, it's rough.
As court days are nearing, his only hope is that he continues to gather evidence to get her out of the apartment for good.
Yeah, I mean, he should be able to get her out just for non-payment, but it's a brutal situation. It's a wake-up call. I've heard horror stories like this all the time in New York, which is why I personally don't invest in New York City. I look out of the city to invest in markets like Philly, Baltimore, Delaware, even New Jersey, even as far as Texas, and I'm on East Coaster. So I will look as far as possible to get into better landlord tenant situations and court situations. But what do you guys think? Do you think tenants should be able to stay forever? Certainly, you know, the bank doesn't care if the tenant's not paying. They still want their money. Do you think this is unfair? Should the laws be changed? Drop a comment. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tapped into the 24/7 cash flow family, where we leverage real estate to break free from the 9 to 5. Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor. I'll see you on the next one.